that's fatal.
What's going on, Popper Squad? Fatal Steven here, and today is my birthday. I know, thank you. Hold the applause, I am 28 years old, pushing 30. Pushing 30? Anyways, that's besides the point, and as you see by the title of this video, today I'm going to be talking about the final W2K22 patches. So now that we're at the final stretch of W2K22, leading up to eventual 2K23 promotion, let's talk about what's to come and what we can probably expect from that. So I have a photo on the screen right here that says internal development, a bunch of numbers, and then 3 hours ago. For those who are wondering what this is, this right here are pretty much W2K22's next patches. As you see, there's probably 2 more patches left before this game comes to a final end and marketing for 2K23 starts happening. So I'm not going to explain how I got this photo, but it was shared to me on my Discord, and essentially it's pretty much like the internal side of how the patches look like. Now I'm sure someone in the comments can explain it a lot better, but essentially what you're seeing here is like the internal development of the patches. We have one that is currently working on, and then one that is in development. Now, if you look at the numbers, 99-109-25, then 99-104-16, the numbers are different, indicating that it's 2 different patches. If the numbers were the same, then it'd be the same patch, but as you see the difference, so it's 2 different patches. Now, what can we expect from these last 2 patches? Well, judging by past updates after the DLCs, they've all just been My Faction updates. My Faction attires, or new models, and when I say new models, I just mean like a retro version of an existing model we already have in-game, like Retro Randy, Retro Batista. And 2K also goes the lazy route and doesn't even update their face. So you have like a modern Batista head with his bald head on a retro Batista body, and then a modern bald Randy on a retro Randy body. Like, you can't even just de-age the face a little bit and give them hair, 2K. Very lazy. But regardless, they're just My Faction updates. We can't even see them if we wanted to. We can't even play as them in exhibition mode. The only reason we can is because of the community creations and the talented 2K modding community. So judging by the past updates after DLCs, they all have just been My Faction stuff. No quality of life updates. No actual fixes for major issues in the game, like universe mode, for example. So I wouldn't expect any bug fixes for these last 2 updates. Probably going to be some My Faction models and My Faction attires. Now, with each patch we've been getting, models have been found in the files that were then uploaded, but that didn't always correspond with what My Faction pack was released. For example, let's say like the 4 Horsewoman pack gets released on My Faction officially, like officially announced even from the WWE Games Twitter. In the files, they might find Retro Batista model, even though his pack isn't ready yet, and thus allowing Retro Batista to get uploaded to the communications way earlier than when his pack was even announced. And then usually some of these models are unfinished, and then when the next patch comes out, they get finished pretty much. A perfect example is with the 4 Horsewomen, where if you downloaded the purple models, when they got updated, you now have their actual model in game, their updated version, which are blacklisted from the community creations, and you can't download unless you already have their purple versions. Another good example is Rhea Ripley 19, the blonde version of her. If you downloaded that one, eventually that one turned into Judgment Day Rhea Ripley via an update. And if you watch my videos, you hear me say this every patch. When you download these unfinished models, the next patch, they're most likely going to be updated. And if you already have them downloaded when they were downloadable, when they get updated, you will still keep them even if they become blacklisted, thus not allowing you to download them anymore. You will already have them, and you will have the current updated version of them. So with these final 2 patches coming, I don't expect too many newer models, although I would love if we got some newer retro versions of other superstars. Brock Lesnar still needs one, and that's a big request as well. And I hope that whatever these patches give us when it comes to My Faction stuff, I also hope they're downloadable and they're not content damaged. There's also some models that are currently still unfinished, like we still have a Sami Zayn that needs updating. There's a bald Beth Phoenix in the files. There's a bald Kushida. There's a bald Chad Gable. And there's also a bald Miz. So there's multiple bald superstars still that need updating. And I'm curious if these 2 final patches are going to update them, or are they just going to stay unfinished? Another thing that 2K can do with these patches is those unfinished models, for example, like unfinished bald Miz. Instead of just finishing the Miz, they can just replace that unfinished model with one of these My Faction models, thus making that Miz unobtainable, because even though it was previously uploaded to the communications, if you went and downloaded that one after its slot in game already got replaced with a new model, even though it looks like you're downloading that Miz, because that unfinished Miz model got swapped with an updated completely different superstar in that slot, that Miz you just downloaded will be updated to that current new superstar taking over that slot, which was previously for unfinished Miz. So that could also happen. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is don't get your hopes up when it comes to these final 2 patches. 2K is not going to send up WWE2K22 on a high horse with like all the major bugs fixed before they work on 2K23. They are already working on 2K23. Official marketing is probably going to start at Royal Rumble, and the game has to come out before April. That gives 2K 3 months to promote the game, announce the roster, and release it. The game has to come out before April. And for those wondering why before April, because during their investor call, 2K23 is listed as the beginning of 2023, so that's why. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching and listening to me. I just wanted to talk about these final 2 patches for 2K22 before 2K23 promotion starts. I want to get your hopes in check. I didn't want you guys to get your hopes up. Of course, if there's any new models or new attires that are uploadable and downloadable, I will cover them as well the moment they get found and sent to me. Thank you so much, guys. I'm going to go enjoy my birthday for a bit, and I will catch you next video. If it is to be a note, stay proper. Peace.